share another incredible story for you. This is the 7th episode in this series, Real Stories That Inspire Life. Hope you were inspired by the previous 6 episodes. This is a story of a Swedish girl who lost her mother when she was only 10. She was brought up by her maternal aunt and was married at the tender age of 13. She had 8 successful deliveries. Yes, you have heard it right. 8 times pregnant at that young age. She gave birth to 4 boys and 4 girls. It was a miracle because at that time, pregnant women had no guarantee if the baby would survive. Many times, either the baby would die or the mother during delivery. I'm talking of the 13th century. The girl's family, though quite rich, was pious. Her father went to confession every Friday and made long and arduous pilgrimages as far away as the Holy Land. It seems that as a young child, this girl would get dreams and visions of the man of sorrows. Can you guess who? It's Jesus on the cross. The memory of this dream never left the girl even after her marriage. This girl and her husband worked in the king's palace when the king of Sweden, Magnus Eriksson, married Blanche of Namur. He asked this girl to come and be lady in waiting and to teach the young queen the language and customs of her new country. After her years of service at the king's court, she and her hubby made the long pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. Her hubby died when she was only 41 years old in the year 1344. After her husband's death, God called her to be His bride. He gave her the task of founding new religious order mainly for women. Wait. Did you hear that correctly? A married woman with 8 kids is now called to start a new religious order. Is that really possible? Those days it was not uncommon for rich ladies to enter monasteries. But why another order? It seems the vision told her that the other orders had fallen into decay and this new order would be a vineyard whose vine would revivify the church. The vision not only requested her to start a new order, but also gave her precise instructions how to organize the order. Wow, that's really too much to believe, isn't it? It seems King Magnus Eriksson donated a little palace and much land to the new monastery, but almost as soon she had begun altering the palace and organizing the work, Christ appeared to her and asked her to go to Rome and wait there until she got the Pope to return from France to Rome. Wait a minute, this is too much to digest. Why was the Pope in France and not in Rome, Italy? Well, that's another story for another day. However, for your knowledge, during the period 1309 to 1377, the popes took up residence at Avignon in France instead of at Rome, primarily because of the political conditions at that time. After Pope Gregory XI re-established the papal capital in Rome, cardinals selected a second pope who assumed the vacant Avignon seat. This marked the onset of the Great Schism, the dark days in the Catholic Church hierarchy. A succession of such anti-popes were selected, and the Great Schism was not healed until 1417. The crisis was resolved at the Council of Constance between 1415 to 1418. Well, that was a little info about church politics. Let's get back to the girl's story. So this young widow left Sweden at the end of 1349, never to return. For the rest of her life, she saw visions concerning the reform of the church, messages to kings and popes and many other persons in high places, directing them to work for the church. Now I'm going to tell you something about her that is absolutely baffling. She desired and wanted to do many things, but each time she was unsuccessful. This story could also be titled The Woman Who Failed Successfully. She had longed to become a nun. She never even saw the monastery she founded. She never had the Pope return to Rome permanently. Pope returned back to Rome 4 years after her death. She never managed to make peace between France and England. She never saw any nun in the habit that Christ had shown her. She never returned to Sweden but died far from home in July 1373. She can be called, I think, the patroness of failures. Now here is a twist to her story. In her failure, she was like Jesus. He too was classed as a failure when they hung him on the cross. You see, we have a great inspiration here. Sometimes we cannot get what we want. Our dreams remain unfulfilled. The moral we learn is that never give up. Many times dreams are realized during our lifetime or after our death. Our calling is to plant the seed of the dream. God waters the seed and gives fruit to the next generation. This little girl who lost her mother at 10 years, was married at 13 years, had 8 successful deliveries as a young girl, who was widowed at the young age of 41, had a responsibility of 8 kids as a single parent, left her home country Sweden, goes to Rome with certain mission in mind, is unsuccessful in fulfilling her dreams, dies in Rome in 1373. A year later, her remains arrived at the monastery she had founded in Sweden. Several miracles were attributed to their journey north. Some who touched her coffin, it was said, had been suddenly healed of their illness or disability. So she was canonized in 1391. She is Sweden's only true saint in the Roman Catholic Church, though others are venerated as holy but were never formally declared saints in the Church. I'm sure by now you want to know her name. She is none other than Saint Bridget of Sweden. She is the patroness of Sweden, sometimes referred to as the mystic of the north, that is, mystic of Scandinavian countries. Her religious order is called the Bridgetines. Her feast day is celebrated on July 23rd. In 1999, Pope John Paul II named her one of the patron saints of Europe, along with Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross and Saint Catherine of Siena, 2 other holy women who devoted their careers to ending religious and political strife in Europe. Katharina, Bridget's daughter, also became one of the few Scandinavian-born saints known as Saint Catherine of Sweden, 1332 to 1381. Bridget's granddaughter served as the Bridgetines abbess from 1385 to 1403. She was the last of Bridget's descendants. The family line ended because so many of her descendants had taken religious vows and never married. So dear, we are at the end of the incredible story of Saint Bridget. Thank you for watching. Do share the link if you like the story. See you in the next video. At your service, Wandering Guru.